Whenever I visit Radharaman temple in Vrindavan, I feel deeply grateful to Radharaman ji, because it is only because of Radharaman ji, our spiritual master, His Holiness Radhanath Swami, is there in this country, or he can keep coming to this country, only because of the mercy of the great Lord Radharaman ji. How it happened? This is not given that elaborately in Journey Home. By the way, I really urge all of you, I'm sure you must have read Journey Home, but those who have not read, they should read it again, or read once the first time, and definitely read again and again, because every time you read Journey Home, you get much deeper and deeper realizations about the glory of the spiritual master, and it gives one a great inspiration. For a disciple, it is like the most important scripture that one should read is the Atma Charitra of Gurudev. So, in 1971, there were only two foreigners in Vrindavan. One was Asim Krishnadas and one was Richard Slavin. And because there were only two foreigners, everybody in Vrindavan knew, because Vrindavan also was very small in those days. And Richard Slavin had come to actually go to Amarnath, but on the way he got dropped down in Mathura, and then was transported to Vrindavan with some fellow Brajvasis. And he loved Vrindavan so much that he just forgot about his visa. And he was staying on the banks of Yamuna at Chir Ghat. Every morning would wash his clothes in Yamuna, squeeze them, and wear the same wet clothes and go to the Mangalarti of Radharaman Dev at 5 a.m. in the morning. In very severe winters, the same schedule will follow. So it was winter time when he came to know through the fellow Brijvasis that police is searching for him. Why? Because his visa was over. And there was a warrant for him in Mathura police and then to Vrindavan police that search him. He is overdue in India. He is supposed to leave India much longer back. So when he was moving on streets, some of the known Brijvasis informed him that police is after you. Please decide what you want to do. And it became too much that so many people started telling him, you are under warrant. You will be arrested very soon. Think about it. So then he realized that his visa was much overdue. It was not 1-2 days. Maybe it was months overdue. So by any standards, it was not possible for anyone to get that kind of extension, even on medical grounds. Then any medical or social or some reason, it couldn't have been extended to that kind of period of time. So Richard Slavin came to understanding that it is impossible for me to ever come to India if I present myself, or if I am caught to the police, by the police, and if I present myself to the police honestly, looking at the delay and overstay, I will be blacklisted and I will never be allowed ever to enter India. And it was breaking his heart, because he had fallen with love with Krishna and fallen in love with Vrindavan, the life in Vrindavan. It was like life in Vrindavan was like Krishna himself enveloping him completely. So he became very desperate. And one morning, he took bath in Jamuna in cold water, washed his clothes which he was wearing, squeezed them, wore the same clothes, and walked in a gully in pitch dark to enter Radharaman temple at 5 in the morning. And he prayed so intensely to Radharaman ji that, oh dear Lord Radharaman ji, please do something so that I will not be kicked out of Vrindavan, Mathura and India forever. I have no chance from material point of view. I have no chance to continue my stay here. Only you, being the supreme controller, the supreme personality of Godhead, can do some miracle for me to continue to stay or for me to come back again to India and keep coming back to India. I just cannot imagine myself separated from Vrindavan ever in life. And he prayed with tears in his eyes, very desperately, with utter words of heartfelt emotions. And then he would every day go to attend the Mangalarti of Radha Vallabh temple. That used to be, and today also it is at 6 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 5:45, sometimes 6 o'clock. In winter, 6:15, around that time. And there is a gully, small lane which goes from Radharaman temple to Radha Damodar temple, then to Seva Kunj, and from there, all the pitch dark roads, they lead to Radha Vallabh temple, and then there is a one bulb over there. So Richard Slavin left Radharaman temple, came through shortcut to Radha Damodar temple, took right turn to the Seva Kunj. And when he came to Seva Kunj, that is the place where Krishna performs Rasalila today also. A very mysterious place. It was all pitch dark, absolutely pitch dark, only because he knew the road every day he would go by the guidance of the stars and the dim light, dimmest possible light we can ever imagine by the stars in the sky. And when he came near the gate of Seva Kunj, something like dog, hopefully it was dog or some other animal, the teeth of the animal entered in the right calf of Richard Slavin. And it was very painful, and there was some sound like dog, but one cannot say confidently it was dog only. It could be anything, but most likely dog. And the sound was heard very close to the leg where the bite was taken, and the sound faded out and disappeared in the darkness. And it was very painful. The calf was almost ripped apart. But still Richard continued to walk in the dark, as it was known road to him, all the way to Radha Vallabh temple, where there was a first light to be seen. And then he entered through that door and entered the temple room, temple courtyard of Radha Vallabhji, where his friend Radhanath Goswami greeted him as usual, as every day, because they were very close friends. They would spend hours and hours and hours together talking to each other. Very amazingly, Radhesh Lalji did not understand English, and till today Radhanath Swami doesn't understand Hindi, and still they would converse for hours and hours together, sometimes overnight at the other bank of Jamuna river. So Radhesh Lalji received him, and he saw a big line of blood running behind his right foot, flowing from his right calf. So he said, "Oh, what happened? Your leg is bleeding." So that time Richard saw on the ground there was a big line of blood, which was right from temple entrance all the way where he was standing. And definitely it must have been all the way the road, all the way through the road from Seva Kunj all the way here. So Radhesh Lalji observed that, oh, this kind of wound is looks like dog bite. So he inquired what kind of animal. He said nothing was seen, it was pitch dark. But he said most likely it is a dog. And if it is a dog, you can get rabies. And rabies is a deadly disease. There is no cure. If you get rabies, you die. And in those days, I mean today also, when I was a child, rabies means you need to get 14 injections on your abdomen in a pinched fat. The doctor will pinch and lift. And it's a very painful experience. And everybody would get scared of dogs, not because they were scared of dogs, but after you get a dog bite, you have to get 14 injections on the abdomen. So Radhesh Lalji said, you will die. You have to go to the government office, the government medical center, primary health center, and get these shots. And there was a difficulty in going to the government medical center near Ranganath temple, because there was all official arrangements. There was a medical hospital, there would be a police chowki, there would be a court, there would be all government offices. Today also there are, near Ranganath temple. So you have to go and appear there when you go to the medical hospital. You will be caught by the police because they are looking for you anyways. So Radhesh Lalji convinced him that you have to appear to the doctor and maybe police will catch you, but the doctor will give you extension of visa and you will get 14 injections. So with this plan, he went to the doctor in government hospital because rabies vaccine is not available in any private hospital or private doctor. Today also you have to go to the government setup only. The doctor said, yes, looks like dog bite and dog can be rabid. So you need to stay for 14 days here. Definitely police came and caught him, but the doctor gave him 14 days medical extension of visa, but not filling the gap of invalid visa. It was from the day he visited doctor, from that day 14 onwards, but what is to be done before that, the government will decide. Doctor will not have the authority to deal with that. So police noted him and then allowed him to come every day, and then 14 days were over, 14 injections were over, police caught him, and then they said that he explained, I'm a devotee, I have come from America, please help me to make my visa valid, my stay valid. So they said, you have so much overstayed that nobody can actually do anything for you. It is beyond anybody's law, Indian law, anybody's law, local law, that your visa can be stamped and made valid. So he was taken to the local office where he was rejected. Then he went to district office, all offices of home ministry, because all this visa comes under home ministry. So he went to state office, then he went to higher office, and then finally he went to central government office of the home ministry. And many offices he went higher and higher, because everybody said sorry, you go to the higher office, you'll go to the higher office, and everybody saw the condition of the duration of invalid visa. They said nothing can be done, sorry, you have to get out of the country and nobody can bring you back in the country. And you can imagine, he was so desperate that he finally reached the central home minister's office. The secretary saw and he said, impossible. But he said, can I see the central home minister? You can imagine a 20-year-old boy trying to reach the central home minister, union home minister. Somehow, by the mercy of the Lord, he reached the highest authority, the union home minister. And union home minister saw the passport and the situation. He said, impossible. You will not be allowed to come to our country again. You have stretched your stay so much that no law can bring you back. You are blacklisted. At that time, Richard sat on his knees in front of the union home minister, folded his palms and cried tears of desperate condition and begged to the central union home minister, please extend my visa. And nobody knows what happened. The determined union health minister, home minister, saw deep into the eyes of Richard for a long time while he was pleading. And God knows what happened. His heart melted and he suddenly stamped and made all the period without visa a valid period. I mean, for the date of expiry of visa till the date of first injection of rabies. Of course, next 14 days were already valid. He made everything valid and he said, never do it again, but you can come back to India again. But now you have to leave the country. And that's how he was sent back to America. And that's how today also he is able to come to India, because it is all Radharaman's mercy. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj also connects this to Radharamanji. So we are all grateful to Radharamanji, because if this was not so, we wouldn't have had him in India from the time he is coming here.